Wonderful. Good morning, everyone. I'm Christian, CEO and founder of Parkbob. So remember the last time you were in your car and you used your navigation system and the system told you you've reached your destination. What did you do? Leave your car? Exactly, yeah? You're in the middle of the street, the house number is right, you wanna go to this building, but you have to take a lot of decisions. Where to park, in a garage, on the street, if on the street, where's availability, am I allowed to park here, do I have to pay, how long to stay, etc., etc. All those questions, all those decisions are currently not supported in a digital way. And that's exactly what we focus on as Parkbob. So parking is a hassle, we all know that, right? It takes a lot of time, money, and nerves. I think that's pretty clear. But the problem itself, the pain, is a little bit more complex. So we've been talking to hundreds and hundreds of our users, and what they tell us is they want to be navigated to an available spot or a parking option instead of the address, right? And secondly, and we weren't aware of this at the very beginning, they want digital information about all the rules and restrictions to be able to avoid parking fines and towaway fees. So on the other hand, there is the automotive ecosystem, the OEMs, the tier ones, mobility providers, navigation service providers. They want to create a seamless user experience on the last mile. Why? Because they want to control it. They want to monetize it. By 2030, 20% of revenues in an automotive field should come from digital services. So the battle is on who will own the relationship to the digital driver of the future. So this might be a BMW, this might be a Google, and this might be an Uber. Big question mark. What is clear that the decisions I've been talking about, where to park, how long to stay, etc., are at the moment taken by human beings, but will be taken by autonomous systems over the next years more and more. And these systems need reliable digital information to base their decisions on. So the market itself is pretty clear. It's growing mobility. Urbanization is growing as well. I personally, excuse my language here, call this a little bit the bullshit slide. The market is so dynamic it's really difficult to assess the next 10, 20 years. But there's one figure I'd like to draw your attention to, and that's the number that we see more than 1 billion parking transactions happening on a global scale in urban areas each and every day. So what do we actually do? 3 things. Big picture, we aggregate context data and real-time data about street parking. We focus on street parking. What we then do is we transform all this raw data we acquire into valuable information that help a driver to take better decisions in the moment of driving. We don't monetize through B2C, but monetize the services through a set of APIs we provide to the automotive ecosystem, the OEMs, the tier ones, mobility providers, and navigation service providers. So context data, it's about parking space. It sounds trivial, but 99% of the cities don't have a digital representation of their parking space. Yeah? We're building up a big asset here. Same with rules and restrictions. On the real-time data side, we source every available data source about parking behavior that exists. That's the OEMs, that's the existing mobility providers like Car2Go or DriveNow. That's all the hundreds of aftermarket connectivity players like Automatic, Winley, Tanktal, etc. But we also use a technology that we develop ourselves that can detect with a smartphone fully automatically in the background when you park in or park out. Let me give you an example what this looks like. So DriveNow, Car2Go, all the free floaters have a problem. A lot of the users park the car at the end of the drive where there is space, but they don't so care much about the rules and restrictions. And this leads to a huge volume of fines and towaway fees. So legally, they can transfer the cost to consumers, but they don't do this in a lot of cases because they're in competition with the other one, they're in competition with the Lyft, and an Uber who don't have the parking problem at all. So they have an urgent interest to avoid those cases. We help them providing a so-called rules and restrictions API that tells the car, respectively the driver, hey, you're not allowed to park here. Maybe you haven't seen the sign. Maybe the sign, you can't read it because it's in a different language. Doesn't matter. So this, of course, works as well on a smartphone with our automatic detection of parking. And that's the service that's, at the moment, our users love. On top of that, we show drivers where they can find an available parking spot just nearby. Just to give you an idea of volumes there, in Vienna, we deliver 50,000 available parking spots on street every single day. And this is not just prediction, we actually measure where the parking spots are available. Another piece of information is search time. So This is a new concept. It tells you how long it will take you to find a parking spot on the street in your destination area, right? If you know that it's going to take you 20 minutes, you can take a better decision by choosing an off-street option like a parking garage with 3 minutes away. At the moment, users don't know. So they give it a try and circle and circle and circle and give up frustrated and end up in a parking garage after an average 10 minutes. These 10 minutes can be avoided. We started to launch the service in a pilot market, Austria, in 2016. And we focus a lot in optimizing the processes and the methods that are around the data generation. So that enabled us to roll out tremendously in this year. We started in March. We're now standing at city number 29 in Europe and are currently entering the US, starting with Seattle, Portland, and New York City. So that's next year's roadmap, a total number of 100, with covering our core markets in Europe, North America, and opportunistically in LATAM and the Asian region. One of the main drivers that allows us to be so extremely fast in rolling out those cities are, as I said, the technologies and the methods. And one of those is satellite imagery. We take 30 centimeter grade satellite imagery, automatically extract the cars, and see how parking behavior works. This is, of course, not working real time, so don't get me wrong here. But if you have dozens and hundreds of snapshots of a city, that enables you to build a very accurate model of parking. Our target markets, as mentioned, is the automotive and mobility ecosystem. So the OEMs, the tier ones, navigation service providers, maps and POI, financial services, mobility providers, where we already work and contracted the Car2Go. We're working with Societe Generale, ALD Automotive, Yellow Pages, BMW, and the guys in the navigation field. So we were founded in March 15. Have a total team of 20 FTEs currently, all academics, all from the tech side, are currently finalizing a seed round and are looking forward to set up a larger A round beginning of 2019. Thanks very much and looking forward to continue our conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for Parkbob.